like to welcome everyone to this is the session of the future skills. I hope you can see my screen. So in this current session, I'm going to talk over on the topic. You can see the topic here. It is asset information modeling. Okay. And this is conducting by BIM Labs. And before starting with the topic, I will introduce myself for you. So I am Bijina BT. My name is Bijina. I'm working as a technical engineer in BIM Labs Engineering Services Private Limited. So about the topic asset information modeling, these are the contents I prepared for this talk. So you can see the contents here. It's what is an asset. So before knowing what is asset information modeling, you should know what is an asset. Then what is asset information meant for? Then what is the difference between ancient and new methods of keeping information about different buildings? Then what is BIM? What is the difference between BIM and asset information? Is there any connection between that? Then what are the challenges in asset information? Then asset information model. What is AIM? Then what is COBie files? What are the COBie sheets? How to export Revit to COBie files? Then BIM maturity levels and the COBie files. The last topic is last content will be this. It will include the relation between IFC files and COBie files. So let us start with the talk. So before I will tell you what is an asset. Asset is actually a common term, right? You might also heard about asset. What is asset? So asset is actually we can like anything which has the potential value or which can add value to any organization. Such things we can call as asset of an organization. Okay. So for all the organization, when we are looking into all the organization, like those organizations should hold some information regarding its assets. So this will help them to organize then better, like they can service, then monitor, and they can evaluate their assets. Then they can upgrade the assets. Also, they can control the assets in the lifespan of the asset. This should be there in all the organizations, the control of the asset. So the asset can be like any money investment or any fixed properties. Anything can be an asset. So here, an asset may be a fixed type, or it can be movable or immovable. It will be in like individual. Any individual item can be an asset. For example, a plant or an equipment, a space for any structure or any piece of land can be an asset. Like can be an asset. So anything can be, any material can be an asset, which is adding value for that building. And the value can be tangible, intangible, then it can be financial or non-financial, and it will be varying throughout the life cycle of the asset. It will not be the same value. We will not getting the same value throughout the lifespan of an building. Sorry, like throughout the lifespan of an asset. It can vary. So the different types of assets are there. For example, current asset, then fixed assets. When talking about the current assets can be like those are the assets that can be converted into cash or any cash equivalent. So such type of assets can be called as current assets. For example, cash and cash equivalents, then marketable securities, any inventories, then short-term investments can be called as. Those are the examples for current assets. And when talking about fixed assets are the assets which cannot be converted into cash or cash equivalents. And they can also refer to non-current assets or long-term assets. For example, real estate properties, then patents, equipments, furnitures, tools, etc. can be called as fixed assets. Then the next type is tangible assets. tangible assets means the asset with some kind of physical presence. For example, cash, vehicles, then some office supplies, equipment, etc. And when coming to the tangible assets, intangible assets, we can see those are the assets which like they are not physical but offer a long time value. We can offer a long value to our company. Such type of assets are called as intangible assets. And for example, trademark, patents, research and developments, etc. Then next are operating system and non-operating operating assets and non-operating assets. So if it is operating assets, like cash, real estate, patents, these are the examples for operating assets. And such assets will be those assets will enable your business to generate revenue, uh, like from the core business operations. Such type of assets can be called as operating assets. And when it is non-operating assets, such assets do not help your business to generate a revenue. Okay, so that is called as non-operating assets. So, for example, unused land, then unlocated or unallocated cash, or short-term investments, etc., can be categorized as non-operating assets. So now I think you get an idea about what is asset. When coming to the asset information means the information, the like the it is the we have to collect the maximum information of an asset. For according to an asset, it will have different information about that. So we have to collect the maximum information about an asset. It will help to attain, or it will help to collect the maximum revenue, or it will help to collect maximum value from that particular asset. And also in the previous time, in the traditional method, we have some traditional methods for collecting these asset informations. So in the traditional methods, we have used some like drawings, sheet drawings, paper drawings are the process we use for creating the asset information. But when it is coming to the this like when there is software incorporation in these kind of asset information, we can add, like we can use computer aided technologies or computer aided designing and drafting technologies for creating the asset information. So that will help you a lot. It is very easy to editing, then retrieval and reproduction will be easy, and also we can store a lot of information. The storage capacity will also be better when we are going for any computer based system. So now we are using the computer based systems for collecting the asset information and for storing the asset information. So like what is the difference between ancient and the drawings are an ancient method of keeping the asset information, as I said earlier. And you can see the new method is computer-aided designing, CAD method, using different softwares. You can also go for 2D CAD drawing softwares and also 3D CAD drawings or 3D softwares also you can use for getting the asset information. So some examples are given here. Autodesk Revit, then Graphisoft ArchiCAD, then the Bentley's MicroStation. See, these are the some examples for collecting examples of softwares which help to collect the asset information. So, have you heard about this term BIM? That is an acronym for Building Information Modeling. So, when you are um, looking into moving, like when you are looking into the term AIM, that is Asset Information Modeling. Before knowing what is asset information modeling, you should know what is building information modeling. Okay, there is some connection between building information modeling and asset information modeling. This will be explained later. So, what is building information modeling? It is actually a 3D based intelligent modeling process. So, using this process, we can add different physical and functional properties of a building. And have you noticed this term building information modeling? In this term, the very important word is information. And in BIM, I is a very important letter. Why? because using this process, this is a, it's not a technology, yeah, it's a process. In this process, we are collecting, we can collect the maximum information about a model, about a building or any infrastructures. We can collect the maximum information from that. That is the important thing in the building information modeling process. So for conducting this process, there will be different steps will be there. So those steps I will explain you later. In the later slides, we can see those steps. And and this will help the ACE professionals, construction professionals are getting benefited from this BIM. They can work on the BIM for efficiently plan, design, build, and operate the different buildings. Why we are going for such process, BIM process? Is there any need of BIM process? Why we have changed BIM process from 2D drafting methods? We know that in the first time, like in the traditional method, we were creating the plans. We like using the sheets. In the sheet papers, we will create the plan. And when like after that, we have moved to the like CAD technology, computer aided design. So in the computer aided design technology, first they have introduced some like 2D drafting softwares was there, and there are some drawbacks in the some limitations in the 2D drafting softwares, such as the first one can be parted as like updations or rework. It is very difficult in the 2D drafting softwares. You can consider the most familiar software, Autodesk, AutoCAD by Autodesk. You can consider as an example. If you know the software, if you are familiar with the software, you can take it as an example. So if you are like we know that for creating a wall in the Autodesk, oh sorry, AutoCAD, we will be defining using the two lines. We are defining a wall using the two lines. So can you imagine how much amount of information I can extract from those two lines? I cannot extract any property of that wall from two lines. Do you think so? Do you think I can extract any data from that? No. I can only extract if I'm going for it, taking its properties. I can only extract the line property of the two lines I placed there. So, but if you are going through any softwares under the BIM, we can complete the model. We can complete the model by adding its maximum information. If you are going to place a wall there, then that wall will be an exact wall. It on like it will have the materials, the real material will be inside that. If it is a wall, the brick, then the plastering, then the paint material, etc., will be added to the wall material. So so I'm coming to say that there is a lot of difference between 2D drafting softwares and 3D. So in when comes to the updation and rework, if there is any small correction happens in the AutoCAD, I'm only considering an example as this AutoCAD. Any 2D drafting softwares, if I'm doing any, if there is any correction, small mistakes occurs there, I will have to rework, or I will have to correct the mistake in all the plan. Then the corresponding elevation, corresponding section have to I have to do the correction in that. So it will take a lot of time. But if it is in any 2D 3D modeling software, that mistake, or if you are reworking anywhere, that work will get updated to all the views present in that model. So that is the advantage in the 3D modeling software. And what about the next is coordination and clashes? Have you heard about the clashes or coordination? If you're going to construct a building, then in its planning stage, we should ensure it's better coordination. And it is not, and also we have to ensure that it is not having any clashes in that. Clashes means if you want to know about clashes, just Google on the Google for clashes, like or structural failures or failures in plan, construction failures. So if you are searching for some construction failures images in the Google, you will get some images like the plumbing fixtures is passing through the structural column, or ME components is passing through the structural beam or column. So that is a failure, right? That is the planning failure. So even in a time of planning, maybe such kind of errors will be things will be construction stage. After that, when completed this construction, they can this kind of mistakes can happen there, like the clashes between some structural components with the MEP components, or mechanical, electrical, or plumbing components, or some clashes like between these different disciplines, the clashes can be happen. So we cannot avoid the clashes, and it is very difficult if you are finding any clashes in its planning stage before its construction. It is very difficult. It's a tedious process to uh, like manually deleting all those, or manually correcting those like clashes is very difficult in this. And also finding the clash also very difficult if we are going to the using 2D drafting softwares. And when coming to the time management, we will take a lot of time when comparing to 3D drafting software, 3D modeling softwares. And also when considering the cost estimation one, then we will have to rely on the manual methods. For example, centerline method, other methods should be used for finding the estimation. And when coming to the energy efficiency, simply there is no way for finding the energy efficiency of a building. So these are the drawbacks or limitations in the 2D drafting softwares, the traditional method. And why now, why BIM is efficient? So when in the terms of updation and rework, it will automatic, we have an automatic updation. So if there is any mistake in the plan, if we can correct the mistake in the plan, and that mistake will be that rework will be this at the same time. The rework will be updated in its section, its elevation, its 3D view. All the corresponding view will be updated with that rework. There is no need to wait for minutes for or hours for correcting that. Then the coordination and clashes. The coordination and clashes can be identified with the softwares like Revit, Navisworks, or using these softwares we can better identify the clashes, and also there is options for resolving the clashes in that. And the coordination, better coordination also, using BIM softwares we can achieve the better coordination. Then what is time, like time management? We can link the schedule date with the model easily. For example, while constructing a building, before construction of a building, can consider the example of like in Trivandrum in Kerala, they're constructing like the construction of Lulu Mall is going on, and it is not completed now. Okay, but its that that date is, or its like last date is already published in the time of planning, and the last date is, it was like it was before 2 years. Okay, or I don't, I'm not definite with that. Like before 2 years, the the last date was completed, but still the construction is in progress. So this is the case for some many public construction. So this is due to the improper time management. Using this BIM softwares, we can achieve better time management also. And when coming to the cost estimation, easily we can extract estimation. For example, bill of quantities and material takeoff. Uh, we can directly extract from the model after completing the model. So next is cloud coordination. This coordination can be, you can also do this in the cloud, and the building simulation can be done with the BIM software. And VR construction also possible here. And energy efficiency, there is tools for finding the but energy efficiency of a building. Okay, so these are the difference between the normal traditional method and the BIM process. And this the circle or this flowchart will showing you different steps involved in the BIM process. So the BIM process can be, the BIM softwares and technologies can be uh, involved from the programming stage to the renovation stage. Some kind of softwares will need the from programming we can also create the drawings for some building. For example, Dynamo software. So We can create the conceptual drawing. Then after conceptual drawing creation, we will go for detailed drawing, then analysis of the building, then documentation, preparing the document, then fabrication, then construction 4D and 5D, construction logistics, operation and maintenance. Even in the time of innovation and the demolition stage, we can use this BIM data. Building information data can be used in all the or building information modeling technology and the tools can be used in all the process of a project. These are the different steps involved in the in a in any project. And this slide show you some BIM tools. BIM tool means BIM softwares that can be used for completing this process BIM. So for completing the first step, that is conceptual design, you can use the Formit 360, you can use SketchUp, then Revit software also you can use for completing this conception. Next is detailed design. For completing detailed design, you can use the software Revit. And for building, third one is building analysis. For analyzing a structure or building, can use the Autodesk Insight software. Then structural export to TAD and ETAP, though both like these analysis softwares. Next is project management. Project management can MS Project or Primavera, and also Navisworks will help in that. Okay. Then for the step documentation, you can use the Revit or AutoCAD. Step can use Navisworks or BIM 360 software. Then for the operation and maintenance also, you can use the software Revit. And also, while talking about the BIM, I must say this, like Revit is the most important tool in the BIM. So what is BIM and what is a like connection between BIM and asset information? So this BIM model can be used throughout the like design, construction, operation of some projects. We can use the BIM model. BIM is actually we know that we can create a 3D model, 3D intelligent model by extracting all the we can include all the information of the building in that. So it will help to collect the asset information. For example, we can use this in the like construction of or in the planning of building, then bridge, highway, any civil engineering structures. We can use this BIM for getting the asset information. And the model should be include. It should include some things like it should include the model should include 2D drawing of that model. For example, plan, then document detailed drawing, shop drawings, etc. should be there. Then the 3D model should be there for the asset information. Then the 4D should be included in that. Then the 5D and 6D of the model should be included in the BIM model if you are using that BIM model for the asset information. And also, like it helps to ensure that the appropriate information is created in a suitable format at the right time to enable a better decision to make throughout the design, construction, operation of a built asset. And who are the persons benefiting from this BIM model, or who can refer this BIM model? So this BIM model can be referred by the client and also the owner, like client or owner of the building can refer this model, and the manager, the project manager, or any asset information manager can refer the BIM model. And if there is any changes occurred during the construction process, any changes occurred to the planned processes, like different process will be there. So in the different pre-planned process, if there is any change in the pre-planned process, those change can be updated by the subcontractor, or the person who is working with the BIM model will be informed by the client or the project manager. Then the person working with the BIM model or who is keeping the BIM model can do the needed changes in that. So due to that, and also this will help you to keep the information proper. If there is some risk or some mistakes happen, they can also keep their information as a accurate as accurate. And definitely there is some challenges in collecting asset information, uh, like for example exploding volume of corporate information created, then stored and consumed is a first, it's a type of challenge we are facing in the asset information collection. And next is information will be scattered, it will be scattered in different systems, lot of people working in organization, so the data will be scattered in within different people or within different systems. So we have to collect all the data for combining it into a single data or a single file. Then the next is data privacy issues are there. So these are the challenges we are facing in the asset information field. Next is coming to the topic, what is asset information model? So this asset information model, it will include all the data and information. It will have all the data needed necessary for supporting a asset management. Such a model is called, we can call this asset information model or AAM. In that term also, informate that word information is very important. And I think you know why the term information is more important in this. It is similar to the I in BIM. And it will also provide all the data and information related or required for the operation of an asset. The asset will need a complete, like it will need in its lifespan, it needs continuous operation or tracking it needs. So for the continuous like in its operation, its maintenance and in tracking, we can use this AAM data. And using the AAM, we can also using AAM, we will also get non-graphical or graphical data can be extracted from that. And also for controlling or for managing this AAM, we can there will be some data manager, and the data manager sometimes we can call them, or they will be referred as data administrator or data technician. They can also call us data technician. And this can be used for maintenance. This data, the asset information model can be used for maintenance work. If there is any changes in the maintenance work or repair, upgrades, replacement, or decommissioning, then the risk assessment time, the perform evaluation time, the changes in the regulation, in all stages, we can use this AAM. And the AAM, the changes to the AAM can be activated by the events such as like maintenance work, repairs, upgrades. Using the event, by this event, this AAM can be activated. Asset model must include chartion of that particular asset. Then the 3D model should be there. Then you should also the information about the ownership rights and restriction. Then survey work that has been carried, like for about all these information, you should include all the data about these particular information, the survey details, the work information, then the ownership details, or any rights or restrictions are there, then such details also should include in the AAM. And this AAM, and another term is there, that is AIR. AIR means asset information requirement. For a model, there should be some asset information requirement. That is the information required to operate and maintain a built asset in line with an organization's asset management strategies. So each organization will have some strategies for managing their. And AR is definitely a part of BIM, and it will define the graphical and non-graphical data, information, documentation needed for the lifespan operation and maintenance of it and management of a built asset. And it will be defined as a document. A asset information requirement is a document. Find it AIM from that. Once the AAR is created or once the AAR is defined, it will help you to create the AAM from that. Are using the information in the AAM and for what purpose they are using the information from a AAM. The information from the AAM can be used by the client or the AAM, like information AAM. AAM can be used by the asset or asset information can use this AAM model, and also the facility managers can also use the AAM model. And the software which are helping create this AAM model will allow the facility managers to plan, execute, and monitor the different activities required to deliver the active proactive maintenance. Then um, different moves can be managed by that. And there are some vendors for the asset information modeling software like Bentley, then business collaborators, Economist, then others also producing software products for asset information model. And what is asset management? And the term relating to asset information, that is asset management. The asset management is the process of managing the asset. Managing the asset means the managing of asset will help you to develop, operating, then maintaining, upgrading, and also in the time of it also helps to disposing of an asset in the most efficient and effective means. So that is the aim of asset management. And the asset management will help you to increase the market value for the ownership, or the market value of the asset can be increased by the asset management. If you are using the better strategies for better getting better asset management, then we will get the effective value or the final we can cultivate the maximum value from the asset if you are using a better strategies for better asset management. If you're having a better asset management team in an organization, they can cultivate more value from the asset. And the asset manager will be working. He's not the owner of the the work or the complete process. He will be working behalf of someone or some person who is controlling the whole structure or the process. And these are the triangle will show you different aim of asset management. So when coming to the foundation of it, you can see the work processes, then the culture changes can be happen here, and they will work for the fundamental maintenance. And after laying the foundation, they will move to the analyzing the losses, different losses. What are the different losses from the asset, or what are the different losses? The losses will be analyzed in the second stage, and the planning and scheduling can be done here. Then the condition will be also they can monitor the condition in the second stage. And when moving to the top, you can see asset risk analysis will be done for and the maintenance the strategy. Then budget will be forecasted, and these are doing for controlling the like they will take control of the maintenance. That is happening in the third step. And when again moving to the top, can see like they are trying to optimize the plan availability. Then the plan for they will plan for the future. At last, they will reach their complete aim, and that is continuous asset. So that is reaching by these like continuous process. So we will carry out different and the different aim of the asset management is given here. And using this aim, their peak aim or their uh, final product will be the continuous improvement of the asset or continuous improvement of the value they are getting from the asset. And next is what an asset manager is doing. An asset manager will be monitor and maintain the things, the value, and also by monitoring and maintaining the things, they will try to increase the value of a asset within the organization or within a business. And we can also adopt an asset management plan for operating, developing, then maintain, upgrade your asset very cost effectively for getting the best results from that. And this gives you like describe type of asset management. First is digital asset management. That is both it involves organization of digital is basically the efficient organization of digital. When it comes to the fixed fixed are all like an organization to generate income. They remain in the post. They will be remain in the position. They will not move from the position they have installed. And for example, some plumbing installation, any appliances, then machineries, some place in place type of machineries are the examples of fixed assets. So the management of such kind of fixed asset will be included in the those things are like that is called as fixed asset management. And like they are the main investment. They will be they will constitute the major investment of a company. And also we know that it's called as fixed asset, so it will be a fixed asset. And have it like we can also think like this. It's a fixed asset. Then why we need the management for a fixed thing? Is there? But if it is a fixed thing also, it needs the continuous tracking. Have to constantly monitor that asset. We know for it, it's for the better achievement or better effective production of the value. Next is IT asset management, ITAM. Like it includes the management of hardware and software. Then when coming to the enterprise asset management, it organizes, integrates, help optimizes any physical asset or infrastructure of a company. It is on through its entire life cycle. For example, it can include documentations, productivity, inventory records, and the condition of facilities. These are the things included in enterprise asset management. Then last, financial asset management. Uh, like in this, correct, they will in the financial asset means the investment, real estate holdings, then any intangible type of investment in an organization can be called as financial assets. So the managing of financial asset is called as financial asset management. When coming to the infrastructure asset management, that is the managing of different infrastructure assets. For example, road, water access, electricity, any big civil engineering, public works, etc. Then have you heard about the term COBie file? COBie file COBie is actually a file type, and it's an abbreviation for construction operations building information exchange. And using, we have heard about the asset information, and the asset information data can be extracted as COBie files, and it can also represent as spreadsheet COBie files. Then IFC, in IFC format also we can collect these data, and it is an international. This COBie is an international standard relating to the exchange of building information. So this is mainly using for changing or handovering the data from the construction team to the operation team. There will be the construction team and operation team for a project. So this will help you to hand over the data from construction team to the operation team. And the COBie has been incorporated into softwares, different softwares. For example, Revit is an example in which we can incorporate this COBie file, COBie option, COBie files option. We can incorporate into different softwares. We can add as a plugin for different softwares for better planning, designing, construction, then commissioning activities, operations, maintenance, and for asset management. We can use this COBie data. And we know the COBie may take several formats like spreadsheet, IFC format it is having, and also IFC XML format it will process. Then what are COBie sheets? The COBie sheets will be, it's not a single sheet. The COBie files have multiple sheets will be there, include like multiple sheets giving the information about asset will be there in for a COBie file. And as a project, like as the project develops, so additional attributes or issues or documents can be associated to some such specific item. So the example for a COBie sheet will be show you in the next slide. So here you can see this is a figure image for a COBie sheet, and this is not a complete image for a COBie sheet, only a cropped image of a COBie sheet. It will be a long sheet, and on this COBie sheet you can see first category is contacts, next is facility, next is the heading is floor, and another one is last one is space. So in the contacts you can see the email, then the created by details, then created on the date on which the contact this file is created, and the time, then the category, etc. are given here. And when it comes to the floor, you can see the name of the floor here, then created by, created on details, category of floor details, and the system details, etc. will be given here. So this kind of this will be this is an example for a COBie sheet. The data, the asset information can be extracted like this. So next, how will you extract? I give you an example like in Autodesk Revit software, it is possible to export and import the COBie files. Okay. So how will you export from Revit? How will you export the COBie sheet, COBie data from Revit to, how will you export from Revit model to COBie? Okay. So that can be done using by adding an extra plugin to the Revit. And the plugin name is BIM Interoperability Tools. You can see here in the second image, like in this image, you can see the extra tab I have added to here in the Revit. This is the interface, main interface of the Revit software. So in this software, this is an extra tab. By default, this tab will not be there. After adding or after installing the plugin for COBie extensions for Revit can be installed or downloaded from the like any site. You can download that particular site. You can download the extension of COBie for Revit. And after installing that, you will get an extra tab here in the Revit. Then you can work for the COBie files also. You can create COBie files from the Revit model. And you can see a plan view of a model created in Revit. You can see here in this model space, you can see the plan view. And from the in this plan view or from this complete model, I'm going to export a COBie file from this. So for exporting the COBie file here, can you see this export? You can see the export option here in the COBie extension panel. There is an option for export. Just after completing the model, you can click on export in the BIM interoperability tools. Can use this option export. So and also can give particular name for exporting it into a COBI file. So in that name, the given name, the COBI file will be exported. And also you can go for importing to COBI files. Can also go for importing and exporting. So those options you can see here. So that is all about how to export and import COBI files. This can also, we can also do in different. We can operate this COBI files option in some other softwares also. It's Revit is not a single example. And when it comes to the BIM maturity levels, there are different levels in BIM that is defining the maturity of BIM. So, like level 0, level 1, and level 2 are explaining here. So, in the level 0, actually, that means for a BIM, they're expecting in BIM they're expecting the maximum collaboration between each disciplines. So there is no collaboration when talking about level 0. There is no collaboration, zero collaboration in the level 0. And here we are drafting drawings in the paper or sheet that is happening in the level 0. It will be collected and keep in the some like any room or any shelf. We can keep these information that is happening in level 0 of BIM. And when it comes to the level 1 BIM, in the level 1 they will go for 2D drafting, and for 3D CAD for concept work, and 2D drafting can be done for approval documentation. For creating the approval drawing, we will go for 2D drafting. Example, AutoCAD drawing is an example for approval drawing in 2D. Then when it comes to the level 2 BIM, there is they have a collaborative working, and it includes an information exchange process of the project. It can We can coordinate between different process, and we can coordinate between various system and project participants. And any CAD software that each party uses must be capable of exporting the one common file format, that is IFC. So IFC is like another file format. We can using some CAD softwares, using modeling example Revit software, we can convert, not in Revit, also some in many softwares we can convert their file. For example, the Revit files can be converted or can be saved or exporting. It is called as exporting the Revit. Like the Revit file can be exported to IFC format, or any other softwares also. Some other softwares also we can do this. So this IFC is an interoperable type of interoperable format. Okay, and the COBI means that we know what is COBI. I'm not explaining that. Then what is the relationship between IFC and COBI? So IFC is a file which will collect all the information of a building. And when coming to COBI, it will only collect a necessary information for the management and the operation of the building. That is the main difference between IFC and COBI. And this is the method of collecting necessary information needed for the management and operation of the building. We can call it as model view definition. And it will work like this. As a filter, it will work. It will only extract the necessary things from that. And IFC is an abbreviation for Industry Foundation Classes. And the IFC is developed by Building Smart Company. And it can be used for different, it can be used for different BIM programs. In different BIM softwares, we can use this IFC format. They are using for holding the model and different design of the different design model we can hold in the IFC format. And there is also linking of IFC is possible. So that's it about IFC and COBI files. So thank you. If you are having any queries, you can ask me. I hope you get a
Hello.
drift. Like, yeah,
Yeah, ma'am. I had one question.
sorry,
No,
or
no,
rather,
no, no, ma'am.
oh. So thank you all